This one popped up out of the blue Monday afternoon. And the indications first came, Chris, from the fact that two things changed from a betting perspective.
Crazy.
The line moved significantly toward the Cowboys for Saturday's showdown with the Eagles in AT&T Stadium, and the MVP odds shifted dramatically from Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes. And then we find out why. Shoulder injury. There was some chatter about collarbone. Sprained right shoulder is the reported diagnosis for Jalen Hurts. Status for Christmas Eve against the Cowboys in doubt. X-rays reportedly negative. MRI confirms it's not serious. We'll see how long, if any, Gardner Minshew is in for Jalen Hurts. Gardner Minshew is the guy who is the backup, the guy they picked up for nothing from the Jaguars. Remember when Urban Meyer was trying to sell us on the idea that there was a competition between Gardner Minshew and Trevor Lawrence, thinking, I assume, that he was going to be able to trade Gardner Minshew and get something significant. Got a 6th-round pick for Minshew. But the Eagles got a guy that they can count on, and we know the Eagles value the backup quarterback position. They regard it as a top 10, top 11 overall position on the team. Why? We saw what happened 5 years ago. December 10, 2017, Carson Wentz tears an ACL against the Rams. Nick Foles walks in, and they walk out with a Super Bowl win over the Patriots and Tom Brady. So Gardner Minshew, hey, you said it last week. You started up a little bit last week when we were talking about the Micah Parsons comments that you put Gardner Minshew in there and the Eagles can do the same thing. Well, we're
not
about
the
to
same
find
thing.
out.
I didn't
Merry
want to say
Christmas.
that. Yeah, seriously.
Not that, but
I know. They'd still be good.
Not that big of a drop-off.
Well,
They'd still be good.
They're a phenomenal
Whatever
football
you
team.
said.
I know. You said it.
I didn't say it. You said it. So I'm not going to put words in your mouth because I don't want those words to become mine.
No, they would still be a good football team. I'm not saying they would be the same. I understand Jalen Hurts, and he's done a really good job. And I just was, again, yes, all I was trying to say is the team is amazing, and we were piggybacking off of the Micah Parsons, Von Miller conversation, right? And I was just going, hey, he's had a great year, and I understand how the MVP works, but to me, he's not the most valuable player in football. Like, you take Mahomes off of Kansas City or Allen off of Buffalo, and I think there's a significant drop in the team. Significant. And I just don't think that would happen with the Philadelphia Eagles. And then there's a lot of ways where I'd go, the most valuable player on the Eagles for me is A.J. Brown. He's the guy that's changed their team. He's the guy that you can't be right anymore because if you elect to stop the run, he's in bump and run man-to-man, and we can just throw it up, and he catches it every time. So that's the point I was trying to make. But this is still concerning. We know that. I mean, this is a hell of a player who's hot, and he's the leader of that football team. And he has been playing great football. So I don't want that to be diminished by just a conversation we were having. But at the same time, yeah, I saw it happen live. I remember on Sunday, and me and Coach Dungy were sitting there and went, ooh, man, because it was really kind of a dead weight, the thing they'd like to take out, or they're taking out of the league in the pocket. But you see 99 Gibson, he goes full Superman, let his body land on Hurts. And, of course, we saw Hurts sitting there, and I saw him doing this, and I could tell his shoulder didn't feel comfortable. But this is one, Mike, where I look at it and just go, if he's not 95% or better, why play him? Don't risk it. It's not worth it. We can prove the bulletin board material wrong later on in the playoffs. You got a bigger thing here at stake rather than let's prove the Cowboys and the MVP conversation wrong here. And that's where at least my 2 cents in the situation.
And who cares about the MVP? That's what Patrick Mahomes told me on Sunday.
Right.
I asked him, scale of 1 to 100, how much do you care about being the MVP? He said, well, I've won an MVP. I've won a Super Bowl. I'll take a Super Bowl. So I think Jalen Hurts' mindset is the exact same. The MVP is meaningless, and we haven't had an MVP who's also won the Super Bowl since Kurt Warner
99.
in 1999, for crying out loud. So the regular season MVP award, it means a lot to the media, to the fans, to the people who bet on it. It means very little to the people who are in position to win it. They would always, 100 out of 100 times, and anybody who says otherwise is lying. They would rather win a Super Bowl than be the regular season MVP. And if you'd rather be the regular season MVP than win the Super Bowl, then you're in the wrong business. You're selfish. because it's about a team achieving the highest level of success. That's what you should be in it for. So the magic number's 1 either way. The Eagles win one of their final 3 games, or the Vikings lose 1, or the 49ers lose 1, or the Cowboys lose 1, and the Eagles are the 1 seed, period. So, look, I don't know that they're going to beat the Cowboys on Saturday, but you got 2 games after that. Again, all it takes is 1, or all it takes is the Giants beating the Vikings on Saturday, or the 49ers stubbing their toe. I mean, the Eagles are going to get there. I'd be surprised if they're not the 1 seed, and I don't expect a dramatic fall-off from Jalen Hurts to Gardner Minshew. They've kept Gardner Minshew around for a reason.
Yeah.
They like him. He's effective. He's proven he can play, and they understand, as we said earlier, from experience, the value of a good backup quarterback.
Well, that's right, Mike. I mean, it's smart, and he is he's one of the better backups in football. We saw him play at the end of last year, and, I mean, it was a Jets defense that was solid. It had give Brady some issues at the end of the year, and, I mean, he just diced them up. They ran all over the Jets. He was smart with the football. He can make some throws down the field. And that's all I was trying to say last week. I wasn't trying to take a shot. I was just trying to make my point that I don't think he's the MVP and that Gardner Minshew is good and that damn team is freaking real good. And it's not disrespectful. I'm just trying to say that they will be okay if Gardner Minshew's in there. I'm not sure that's going to translate to a win in Dallas, big game, haven't played all year. We'll see. But he's definitely one of the better backup quarterbacks in football, and he'll be able to run this offense just with not the ability to make the plays with his own legs at Jalen Hurts. That's where Jalen Hurts takes him to another level, is because you go, wait, we got everything stopped. We've got all the answers finally. We figured it out. He scrambled around the edge for 25. That's where he kills you. And Gardner Minshew's not capable of doing that, but still mobile and effective. We know that.
And look, he was an exciting player in Jacksonville. Remember we sat with him at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago? He's got a very engaging personality.
Definitely.
I mean, he can come in and make things very interesting. And he's not going to eclipse Jalen Hurts at this point. There's no reason for anyone to think, there it is. There's that video, as Miles Simmons says,
it's
it
the
smells like
funniest video ever.
After he came in and finagled a victory last year, had a great performance. But yeah, I think they'll be fine. They're going to get the 1 seed. Get Jalen Hurts healthy and ready for the postseason. There's no indication this is a long-term injury. No indication he won't be ready for the divisional round. But that's why they have Gardner Minshew. That you have to have a plan for any key player who gets injured, and the plan for Jalen Hurts is it's Gardner Minshew.
Okay,
and we see what happens.
Yeah, I got one question for you. All right, because do the betting casinos have a private investigator outside the facility of all 32 teams?
Well, look, I'm just going to say this.
Because it seems like they know everything before it happens now. So they're getting inside information. It's not even debatable anymore.
And hey, it's okay for them to have it.
Right.
No one else is allowed to have it. If somebody else has it, remember, they were whining and complaining when Tom Brady unretired because somebody went in and put a lot of money down on Tampa Bay Buccaneers futures bets, right? And, somebody knew that Tom Brady was unretiring. Well, tough crap, sports books. You're the ones who always have the inside information, and it's fine when you have it. But when somebody else has it and acts on it, there's a lot of harumphing. There's a lot of hand-wringing and gnashing of teeth. That's a hypocrisy that has always bothered me. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, Chris, the whole issue of trafficking and inside information, think of all the people who have access to just the fact that Jalen Hurts is secretly injured. All day Monday, secretly injured, right? All it takes is one person who says, this is a pick'em. This is Cowboys. I'm taking the Cowboys. I'm betting the farm on the Cowboys because I know Jalen's not playing in that game. Or, MVP award, I'm putting it on Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes because I know Jalen Hurts isn't going to play the next couple of weeks. You think of all the people connected to the player through the team, through his family, through his circle of friends. How do you protect what the SEC, not the Southeast Conference, but the Securities and Exchange Commission, calls material non-public information. There's a whole chapter in Playmakers on it. There's a copy of it in the room where Chris is. It's been sitting there all year, and it's not Chris's. I've confirmed it's not Chris's copy.
Casey's.
His is at home.
Right.
The Chris's that he's never going to read is at home. Another one that Chris is never going to read is in the studio. But if Chris were to read it, there's a whole chapter because the union, the NFL Players Association, is very concerned about this issue. The league, just give us our money. We're not worried about that. Don't bother us with details.
Yeah.
Don't bother us with your obsessions about things that are never going to happen until they happen. Because that's where one of the scandals is going to come from. It's not just, somebody's shaving points or somebody's throwing flags. There's a Tim Donaghy out there. No, somebody's trafficking in inside information. And
it's going on. I mean, there's no way to do it. They have somebody, and they've skirted the issue. What you're talking about, instead of somebody inside there placing the bet. Okay, maybe one or two guys that's got the information may place the bet, but they're still going to get the information fairly quick to change the line to where they're not going to lose a lot of money in the situation. It's pretty obvious at this point. They have stories quicker.
It's possible.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's possible that the odds changed because of some
betting.
Big bets that came in.
I hear you. Yeah,
right.
Hey,
and remember what happened the weekend before the Packers open training camp 2021 season. All the major sports books took the Packers futures wagers off the board because Aaron Rodgers later said I was 50-50 as to whether I was going to retire. So somebody caught wind of it. Now again, maybe it was a big bet or maybe it was the sports books catching wind of it and getting. But yes. The inside information is out there. It's perfectly fine for the house to have it. If the bettor has it, it's a problem. I just think it's all a problem because the NFL ultimately is responsible for it, and I think it has zero sensitivity to how to properly handle it. And that scandal is waiting and lurking, and it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, it's a little scary. I mean, certainly is. As a fan of the sport, you just think of things that could ruin it. And that would be one that would concern me if I was at 345 Park Avenue. But I know hopefully
one last
they'll
point.
Do the right thing.
It becomes the pathway to developing the relationships, right? The people with the gambling interests who just want information. We don't want anything. We just want information. That's how you begin what could become something more problematic in the future, right?
Yeah.
It's just an easy, simple way to just get it's money for nothing. I'm just give me a little information, and that grows and grows and grows, and before you know it, you have a problem. You have a Tim Donaghy. They need to worry about that a lot more than they are. So, the shift in the odds from
both things, the MVP
Hurts
and the
Cowboys
game.
are now 6-point favorites.
That's crazy.
6-point favorites for the Cowboys.
Right.
Mahomes is now the favorite at -300. To be the regular season MVP. I don't get it. Put your money on Josh Allen at plus 550 because if the Bills are the 1 seed, Chris, he's going to be the MVP. If the Chiefs are the 1 seed, it's going to be Mahomes. I'm thinking the Bills are more likely to be the 1 seed.
It seems
Allen's
that way
more likely
right
to be the MVP.
I guess. I mean, if it's one, it's a good conversation. I don't know if you take the MVP away from anybody if they just missed one game, right? I don't think that should sway. If you're going to vote for Jalen Hurts, then you vote for Jalen Hurts. The Mahomes-Allen conversation, you're right. You usually favor the number 1 seed, but Mahomes is the type of guy and some of the plays he's made this year, and if you're a number 2 seed that has the same record as the number 1 seed, I think it'll be viewed equally, and then it'll just go down to what we see on the field. I think. But again, that's where I get. How do you not watch the Buffalo Bills on Saturday night and just go, oh my gosh, what would this team be without this guy? How would they? He's again the leading rusher, running around, scrambling, making unbelievable throws. It's just that's where I look at him and Mahomes, and that's where I, of course, favor them in this MVP conversation. But I'm with you. That's going to be an interesting one because Mahomes has been phenomenal. He really has. It's not the same supporting cast that Jalen Hurts has in Philadelphia. It's not. It's him having to make magical plays like we're seeing right here. It's constant, and that's the same for Josh Allen too. And that's where it's a little different as compared to Hurts. But we'll see where this goes, and I think it is going to be kind of a fun watch here because I think it's a legit like 3-man race this year, a 4-man race if you want to throw Burrow into this conversation, who, Mike, to your point, he could end up sneaking to be the number 1 seed. You know, who is it crazy to say that the Bengals are the best team in the AFC? I don't think it's crazy to say that. Top to bottom, everything they do, they beat the Chiefs 3 times in a row. They're going to play the Bills in a few weeks, to where I wouldn't count him out either if he goes off in some of these big games the last 3 weeks in Joe Burrow.
2 weeks from right now, we will be focusing on the aftermath of a great final Monday night game of the 2022 season, Bills at Bengals. And I think that game is going to decide the 1 seed. If the Bengals win, it's going to be them or the Chiefs. If the Bills win, I think it's going to be the Bills. Now, obviously, there's 2 other games that everyone's got to play, but it feels like it's all pointing toward that. And if the Bengals emerge as the 1 seed, Joe Burrow, I think is the MVP.
I hear you.
It's either him. It's like it's either Allen or Hurts, Mahomes or Hurts, Burrow or Hurts. And how much does it hurt Hurts to miss time as these other 3 are sprinting toward the 1 seed? Because one of them is going to win that race. And the mere fact of beating out the other 2, it's almost like Hurts needs somebody else to push him. The AFC 1 seed quarterback has 2 other guys pushing him. That makes the victory more impressive than it is for Hurts. Oh, and each of those 3 guys are special. I mean, I think Hurts is going to fall out, as the betting markets suggest. I think Hurts is going to fall out, and it's going to be whoever wins the 1 seed in the AFC. I truly believe that's where it's going to go.
Yeah, I feel like it's that way. I feel like it should go that way. We'll see. You know, again, I know I took a lot of flack over that and everything there, but yeah, I just think those are, again, we saw Joe Burrow this year have one of the worst offensive lines in football the first half of the season. I mean, they've just gotten better, and it's still not like it's great. And he went to the Super Bowl last year with that. I mean, those 3 guys, just all I'm saying is I think are really special. And I don't think the game is made as easy for them because of what they have around them. You know, they don't have the top defense in football. They don't have the best offensive line in football. They don't have maybe, I know they got weapons, but not maybe the best duo in football. A top 5 pass-catching tight end. Again, it's just that's where I argue the conversation. I think it's a good conversation. I'm not saying I'm right. But again, I haven't seen Mahomes or Josh Allen. We got to worry about everything else. I say set hut, and I just run up the middle, and nobody's in the screen for a 20-yard touchdown run. I mean, that kind of explains it all. Bears are so worried about everything else, they just, oh, man, we forgot that they can run right up the middle, and then nobody's going to touch them in a 2-hand touch game. That's all I'm trying to say. But phenomenal year, but this is going to be an interesting one. I think one of the more interesting ones we've had here in quite a while as far as MVP conversation is concerned.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.